Hi everyone, my name is Joel Kleber and I'm the much more uglier and more annoying half of AskJIM. And obviously Jim is away for Christmas and the New Year break as well. So you're stuck with me for the next 2 weeks on our clip show. So what we thought we'd do is do a countdown from 40 to 1 of the best hashtag AskJIM moments. And there's been quite a few. There's been quite a few rippers and we've made them into memes and some of them have gone internally viral amongst the Jim's family. So it's been great. So what the guys have done is they've gone and curated the 40 probably most memorable clips from the year and they've ranked them in order 40 to 1 and we're going to do a countdown over the next 2 weeks. So there'll be 20 clips this week and 20 clips in the next week's show until we get to the number one hashtag AskJIM moment. And people might think it's going to be one clip, but I reckon it might be something else, so make sure you watch until the whole way through. And AskJIM's been great this last year. You know, we started in front of the computer, had no idea what was going to happen out of it, and now we have this whole big production and we're on set here and we do it every 3 to 4 weeks as well at the live franchisee training. So if you are a new franchisee coming into the family in 2020, please make sure you hang around and attend the show. And if you've got any comments or questions about the AskJIM show, leave them in here, or any suggestions for 2020, we can happily take them on board and hopefully implement them. And also we are back on January the 8th in 2020. So January the 8th, after you've had your great New Year's and Christmas break, we hope to see you for the first episode of AskJIM in 2020. And who knows what's going to happen. So we've seen how far it came in 2019. So hopefully 2020 we can make it a lot bigger and better and be a lot more some great AskJIM moments. So enjoy the show and make sure you check us out in 2020. If Mr. Burns is your favourite Simpsons character, excellent. Who else do you like from The Simpsons? Do you have any other favourite characters from The Simpsons? That was his question.
Actually, probably my favourite character of all time is Scorpio. Now, he's not a regular character.
Ah, yeah. From the episode with they did the Bond.
Somebody asked me which James Bond I like. Actually, in fact, I reckon the Simpsons episode of Scorpio was fantastic.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen it, it's a wonderful thing. He gets offered this new job at this super democratic, friendly guy called Scorpio, who's just so, calling him by first name and looking after him, so benevolent. But then you gradually come to realise this guy is an arch villain, and he's burning with a flamethrower. And Homer's completely oblivious. He's just talking about how he's not satisfied with the job, and he actually manages to kill Sean Connery.
We'll go to something a little bit lighter. Jim, if you had to buy a franchise, you had to become a franchisee again. Can't be Mowing. Which franchise would you choose?
Why can't you Mowing?
Mowing closed. We've had to close.
Why?
We've had to close.
Why
Mowing.
won't you accept me?
No. Mowing's full. It's far too successful. We have 1 million franchisees in Mowing. There's no space.
No, that's not true, Jake. Perfectly well. We've got all kinds of unserviced leads in.
Question.
This is hypothetical, right? There are no spots in Mowing. Mowing is closed. What division would you choose?
Probably gutter clearing. I'd love to set up a division that does gutter clearing without taking away territory rights from mowing franchises. Obviously, I think gutter clearing would be a fantastic job. See, I like being outside. Yeah. I love the outdoors. Something like trees would be fun too. I don't at the age of 67, I don't know if I should be climbing up trees and stuff, but I reckon trees it's a real macho sort of job.
Yeah.
Getting up there in the open air and he's big. I think that'd be fun.
Safi, would you pick a division? Which would you go? You can go Mowing. Mowing's open for you.
I could, but
You're allowed. There'll be a lot of on-service work if you ever get tired of the old business with the media and stuff. Then there's a role for you in the mowing division. I can assure you.
All right, let's do mowing then, right? So that seems to be flavor of the season.
Yeah.
No, you can make
but
your own
but I'd
choice.
probably take another division probably with dog wash.
Yeah. Dog wash.
You like dogs, do you?
Yeah. Because
A lot of work in dog wash.
Yeah, people love their pets and they're willing to spend great amount of money on their pets.
What about Jim's poo patrol? Would you do that one? Going around picking up dog poo. I reckon there's a good business in that.
A dog walking was taking dog sitting.
You can walk them.
Jacqueline Taylor's gone on one of the other feeds. Who is your entrepreneurial idol or aspiration? That's a question for you, Jim. Who is your entrepreneurial idol or aspiration?
Well, a lot of people actually. I certainly admire Elon Musk. I know he's a bit getting in trouble with Tesla, but he's just an amazing guy. I love the dream. That's why I gave Jim space travel
One of the prizes, yes.
One of the prizes, because I think this whole vision of landing on Mars. What he's done with I find with SpaceX actually more exciting than anything. That he's actually worked out a way of building rockets getting them into space at a fraction of the price of anybody else. So these vast government programs with billions and tens of billions of dollars, and he's able to do it cost effectively. I think he's an amazing guy, and in his ability. There's a wonderful biography by Ashley Vance about him, which I just read a short while ago, and it's. I'm full of admiration. But people like Henry Ford too. It's a great story. He became very cranky in his old age, but the way that he just cut the costs. When they had that big plant, they would actually put the raw materials at one end, and they'd just a stream of cars coming out the other. The whole thing was done in this giant plant, and he kept on dropping the costs and getting the efficiency up. He's an amazing guy.
What about you, Paul? Do you have any business leaders or anyone you sort of look up to?
And Ray Kroc from McDonald's too. Great example.
But you don't like the food?
Food's terrible.
Jim loves memes, we do, as a company. It's been great, and Jim loves them himself. We've embraced it definitely in 2019, and this has been in partly thank you to the Jim's Memeing Facebook page and obviously the Jim's Lawn posting group, and there's been a lot of other videos and stuff done online. We thought we actually embrace it. There's obviously some we don't agree with, but 99% of them are great, and we do have a chuckle internally at them. So we did run a comp in 2019 along these lines, and what we did every week on Ask Jim was actually show Jim some of the submissions. So that was great fun just to pull them up and not actually just show Jim live on air his reaction to some of them. And at the end of it, Jim had picked his favourite ones to give prizes to, and we actually flew down the winners. I think they came from Perth, which was with Jim's Cob Loaf delivery. And they got a hat, they had to meeting with Jim, some photos, and had a dinner and all that sort of stuff. And in 2020, we're hopefully going to run maybe another meme comp or some sort of variation. But in gyms in general, we do love it. It's great for the under 30s and the young people demographic. They do take it, and there's so much creativity as well. So keep creating those memes online and submitting them. We do love them. And keep up the great work in the Jim's Lawn posting and the Jim's Memeing Facebook groups. We do think that you do a terrific job as well. And she's gone, Jim, what is your favourite meme of you? So obviously there's Jim's memes. We had the whole competition around it, the logo comp, which you can still use on the website. But what was your favourite one?
There's quite a few. There was the one about the rat. I like that one.
Jim's rat, yeah, the favourite pet. Yeah, Jim's pet was, no, it was Jim's pet was the one, I think. Yep.
What else? Jim's space travel. I thought that was pretty good. Not something we intend to go into. It's a bit beyond my price bracket. I bought a pack for about 20,000.
Are you trying to become the new Elon Musk or something?
I admire him.
Yeah.
He's a totally different universe to me, but... I like them. It's really fun, actually. There was one this morning that
Jim's counter-terrorism, which we shared on the story. Yeah.
With a milk crate and a chair. I thought those guys were fantastic. I love those blokes. I read all about them, Luke and the guy, his brother, and just tackling this bloke and bringing him down. I thought, isn't it great?
Take some serious guts.
Isn't it great to have heroes walking the streets? I just love that story. I love good news stories about people I can admire.
What about your one, Dan? Which one did you like of the memes?
Oh,
you submitted your own one.
My thing, I really like Jim's things. I don't know why. It may have been mine.
What was the tagline for it?
The tagline was, "We don't know what you want, but we know we can do it."
Yeah,
because we've got 56 divisions or something
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's pretty much nothing we can't do.
There's a lot of stiff competition. We had a lot of entries, and I think Jim picked 3. And the other one which Jim picked was I think it was like Snow White and the 7 gyms.
Yeah,
had a bunch of gyms little around there, which is pretty cool. So Jim Karan's gone, hi Jim, how do you feel knowing one day Jim's cleaning group will one day rival Jim's mowing? In numbers, I presume. I knew having a mowing go on would get a comment like that from cleaning. I knew it.
Let them try. At the moment, they're doing better. I have big plans. We're going to talk about the mowing conference next week. You guys are going to be... Things are going to change.
We've just got a couple of quick questions here. Matt Bailey's gone, what was your first whippersnipper you ever used? And this is an interesting story.
Well, it was a Shikatani.
Okay.
I was one of the first contractors in Australia, mowing contractors, to have a brush cutter. Look, I apologise to anybody who heard the story, but basically I used to get very frustrated when I was mowing lawns because I couldn't do all the edges. I could do the edges with a wheel, but I couldn't do around the trees. And I actually went into the mower shop one day with a mower to be fixed, and I was wandering around the shop, and I saw this thing in the corner, this new idea just out from Japan. And I asked what it was. I had no idea. And he told me, and I bought it on the spot because I just wanted to make the job perfect. And then I could do a job that no client could do for themselves. So that was a great gadget.
Which modern day leader or businessman woman would you like to sit down with and pick their brain? If you could sit down with any of them, let's say 3 hours and have a dinner, who would you want it to be?
Elon Musk, I think.
Elon Musk?
Yeah,
right.
I really admire Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'd be probably too awestruck to say much to him, but I just love that guy. I think what he's doing and his colonising Mars and the way he's done SpaceX. I was just there's a wonderful biography by Ashley Vance about Elon Musk and just the way they brought rocketry down to Earth. They're able to launch things like a third of the price of anybody else. I think what he's doing is magnificent.
So Archie Hood, he's gone here via Facebook, or via the office actually before. You said you like villains. What are your top five of all time villains?
Well,
Let's say from shows.
I love Montgomery Burns, obviously, and the Palpatine.
Palpatine was one, yeah. So
I
we've
like
got two
the
there.
Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
I love the original Batman. You know, the ones with Tobey Maguire.
The original Batman?
Original Batman.
How long are we going back with that one?
That's the one with Tobey Maguire. You know where he's
There's been a few Batmans. There's been Christian Bale.
No, sorry, not Batman. I mean Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, right?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah. The original, one of my favourite films. You know, no other success. No, sorry, what is it? With great power comes great responsibility. That's that one. Now, I love the villain in that first one, which is the scientist who actually owns this business.
The Green Goblin.
The Green Goblin, yes. And he's kind of like a sympathetic character, but in the end he goes berserk because they try and take his company off him and murders them all. Which, as a business owner, I completely sympathise with that. And then in the second version, you have the Octopussy one, who's also a scientist who goes crazy or something.
Yeah, the Octodoctor thing with the
So as a scientist and as being power hungry, and these people speak to me.
Is there one more? I think that was 4. We had 4. Is there one more? You like Bond?
No, of course, Darth Vader.
In this next clip, it featured the gym's 45-day challenge, which came about live on the Ask Gym with Ali Olmez and Haydar Hussein. And Haydar owns the gym's cleaning divisional group. And it was something, I think, where he just put himself out there on air and said, look, I've struggled with weight sometimes and I need to do something about it. How about I commit to this? And live on the spot, because it was live on camera, he committed to it. And then the gym's 45-day challenge was born. And then he went and had his weight target, and he met that weight target 45 days later at the Ask Gym, which was our first and only one where we ever did it on a live, different location, which was out at the gym's cleaning HQ in Broadmeadows. So he done his weight reveal there. But the great thing about it was the community that formed after that. So when Haydar put that live on air, there was people via Facebook and people emailing through saying, oh, I'm going to do this with him and I've used to struggle with weight, all this sort of stuff. So it was really cool from that community aspect and that from that family aspect of what Haydar sort of putting himself out there online sort of came and brought about with other people as well. And hopefully in 2020 we can try and do something similar to that as well and enjoy the clips. Welcome to another hashtag AskJim, and this is episode 33 and a very, very special edition. We've been building it up for around, I think 6 weeks, Haydar. It's been 45 days.
45 days.
I'm out, so Jim's out at a meeting of franchisors here, so we'll whip the camera
Somewhere
around.
I've never been in Broadmeadows. I've been to every capital in Australia, most of New Zealand, never been to Broadmeadows, so there you are.
So it's out here. So what we're going to do tonight, guys, real quickly, we're going to jump over into the scales and give you a bit of context. So Haydar, 6 weeks ago, we committed to a weight loss goal. We'll talk about that as we go over there. And ready to go. So watch the screen there. Whoa, you're blown up. There we go, 87 kilos.
I've tried to lose weight many times, and this was obviously the first time I achieved my goal, and I attribute that to the accountability of it. So thanks to you, Joel, personally, and the people that supported me through this journey. Matt Kavanagh, who's in the room, Rachel Mounter, who rang me and SMS'd me regularly, and all the good messages I got along the way through Facebook and through my email, so thank you. It was hard work, but...
And you've made a lot of little changes, a
lot of little changes.
Sort of stuff, and they all add up. Someone's gone, Nicholas Walton's gone Kirk or Picard. What's that reference to? I've got no idea.
Oh, Picard, definitely. That's Star Trek, Next
Generation.
Star Trek.
Sorry.
Picard, I'm
Kirk or Picard.
I am pretty keen on Star Trek, but I definitely first generation. Next Generation is the best, and Jean-Luc Picard, he's the captain. He is the captain. I don't know why anybody would make James Kirk the captain of a starship. He's an idiot. Now I could imagine Spock as being the captain, maybe, but not Kirk. But you could imagine Picard as being captain. You poor ignoramus, you don't even know who Jean-Luc Picard is.
Me?
You are culturally illiterate.
That's why I should have the shirt to make some culture, give me some bit of class. I've got no idea what that one was, so I apologise to Nicholas
Next Generation
about that.
Next Generation.
So I have to check it out, but there's the answer, Picard, so thanks for that one. Now, Liz has gone here a question. Jim, I believe you like rats. What is it you like about them? Jim's favourite animal is the rat, for those of you who don't know.
Rats are just incredible survivors. Rats, everybody's against the rat. They're not some sensitive animals that'll go extinct at nothing. They survive no matter what. You poison them. which I do actually. When they try and get at my chooks' food, you poison them, you hunt them, you trap them, and they still flourish. I just admire them. They're battlers. They're winners.
Lee from the cleaning division in South Australia. Who or how did the gym's mowing image appear?
Who or how did the gym's mowing image appear was the question.
It's no great thought. When I franchised, I used to put my picture on my leaflets because they actually got a better response. And when we decided to franchise, you couldn't put a photo on a leaflet, so I just got a graphical image done, and we just put the name Jim's Mowing underneath it, and we experimented with a few things. I think it probably cost me about $100 to design that logo. And then down the track a bit, they updated the logo, they could be a bit more friendly.
It used to be very grumpy.
Yeah, it was a very grumpy.
Like that.
It was a very grumpy gym, wasn't it? Yeah, it's a bit more smiling now, yeah. The first question that we get asked all the time, and this came via Facebook and via Instagram and stuff like that, was basically, Jim, what has happened to the beard and the hat? Why did you shave it? Everyone always says that. They said, I'm disappointed. If they see a picture of you now, they're always disappointed to say, where's the beard and the hat? They get very let down. So what happened to the beard and the hat?
Oh, the first thing to explain is that the beard had nothing to do with business and everything to do with women. The only reason I grew a beard, and this was 35 years ago, was that my then fiance liked beard. So I grew it to keep her happy. And 19 years ago, I found myself single through no particular choice of my own. And my beard was going a little bit grey, so off it came. That was all to do with women, nothing to do with business.
I'm in deep in enemy territory tonight. I'm the only mowing guy here. So, but we talked about stats before and talked about your numbers. I think in 1995 we had 835 franchisees in the mowing division. In which century do you think you might pass?
No, he's changed that question. It said decade originally. Now you put the century right. Here we go.
You know what, Michael? I don't think it's that far away. Seriously. We've got a few minor adjustments that we need to make. If we get it right, with the being together as a big group, I don't think it's about 2 or 3 years away. I really do. We went through a big stage where 3 or 4 years we were selling franchises about $40,000 a pop, and that really slowed us down. And even then, we're selling 200 plus franchises a year. And I think part of the success of the mowing division, you were selling franchises for like $5. Is that right? No, there was a stage. There was a stage when you were really cheap. Well, even now they're like 5 or 10 grand.
Not quite that cheap, but we are actually. Yeah, I prefer to charge a more moderate rate up front and rely on growth and ongoing fees.
We've discovered that, and we're going to challenge it with that.
We're getting increasing problems with finance, we find that. So people can't afford to pay as much upfront as they used to. And I think we've got to get away from that model that we had in the past and to one where we are more affordable upfront. But also using systems like we use Easy Rental for mowing, where they can rent their equipment rather than buy it. And then systems of vendor terms and innovative forms of finance. So we need to look at those kinds of areas. But look, we took over a region in cleaning which had 13 franchises about 3 months ago. It's now, it'll close to have,
mowing.
A mowing region
Gippsland.
In West Gippsland should have 18 very shortly. So it's possible to grow the mowing division quite fast with the right pricing and with the right sales systems and with the right level of support, because Dean Trelaw is a great franchisor for support.
What about your input on this, Ali? Because obviously you're the CEO and you have the winner's circle as well and you have all the numbers on the board. So what are the things you're doing from your perspective?
Well, that's pretty much one of the key things that we work on a day-to-day basis, the growth and the numbers. And what we look at is we just need to generate more franchise inquiries and have a better conversion rate. We have franchisors who are converting 15 to 20% compared to 2 or 3%. There's a big differences between some of the franchisors. So that's what we've been working on with Hader, but we need to perhaps stop sharing our success stories with the mowing group. But we're not far away.
But the nice thing about it is I come and needle these guys about, and I'm trying to get them to lift their game and push harder, because I'm with them too. I want the clean to grow as big as possible. I just want mowing to grow faster.
Oh, I can remember the times when you had beaten mowing and Jim was not happy.
Well, we spent maybe 24 months. We had more franchisees every session, and you know that, Michael.
But the last two,
the last two. last 2, but prior to that, 24 months of
So you live
consistently.
in the past, why don't you? Let's talk about the present and the future.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The future.
The next training.
I want to see that sea of blue and red in
Yes,
training every
and
time.
So do I, and hopefully that will happen.
Well, next training we're aiming at 30 franchisees.
Oh, there you go.
30. How many you got booked in so far?
2. No.
The list is not up to date yet, but there's.
Have we got any funds to fund? We'll buy them.
So this one's a great clip. For those of you who don't know, Jim actually can tell a ripping joke. He's a really good storyteller, and he's got an arsenal of them. Now, the reason why Jim has an arsenal of these jokes is a little insight into Jim. It's probably in the book as well, which is up here. But Jim is not very good in social situations, and he does admit to that. So he likes to have a bevy of jokes on hand, so it helps him interact and engage with people a lot better in social scenarios or any environment that might feel a bit different to him. So he has an encyclopedia of jokes, and he can just rip through them like this, bang, 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 bang. We've been trying to incorporate a few of them onto the show. He does filter them past me now. The previous ones he didn't filter past me, so there's a few ones on there that I won't say which episodes to go back on that we probably couldn't put on, but we do filter him now. But he's a ripping joke teller, so make sure you check out all of Jim's clips on YouTube as well and enjoy these set to hear Jim tell a joke. Now, what I wanted to do, we didn't touch on it last week. I know we wanted to do a joke. Now, remember, I told we were going to do a joke last week. I completely forgot due to we had some issues and stuff like that. So, do you have a joke this week that maybe you can leave? We're going to call it hashtag Jim's joke. We're going to try and do one each.
I don't know
week.
about the POW camp.
No, you haven't.
All right.
I haven't heard that one.
This is during the dark days of the Second World War, when this prisoner of war camp in the heart of Germany, and all these Allied prisoners are there, and the owner, the commandant of the camp has this grandfather clock which goes tick tock, and that's how he can sleep. He really needs this clock. And one day, the clock stops working, and nobody can fix it. And this commandant is he's beside himself. He cannot sleep. So he gets all the prisoners to be brought up into the yard, into the exercise yard in front of where he sleeps. And he says, "Okay, I cannot sleep without my grandfather clock, and so you will be my clock. At the word, I want you to go tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and so I can sleep. All right, stop now. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tick. The word is tock. I want you to do it again, and this time we will get it right. Now, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tick. I'm giving you one last chance, prisoner. The word is tock. Again. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tick. Bring the prisoner over here. I'm warning you, we have ways of making you talk.
I didn't expect that one. I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that. I didn't expect the accent as well.
That's the first time I've heard you do an accent.
If anyone knows the story, I mean, you should all be Simpsons fans. It's fantastic, this one. There's still $1 trillion banknote, and eventually end up in Cuba, which is about to go capitalist until they handle Fidel Castro this $1 trillion banknote. Yeah. And of course he decides he can be communist after all. And then after that they become refugees, on this raft going back to America. And Bernsey has this wonderful quote. He says,
"Well, if it's a crime to love one's country, then I'm guilty.
And if it's a crime to steal $1 trillion and give it to your country's enemies, I'm guilty of that.
And if it's a crime to bribe a jury, then so help me, I'll soon be guilty of that."
A very bizarre one. It took me about 5 minutes to work out the answer myself, but here is the question. You've been given an elephant. You can't give it away and you can't sell it. What do you do with the elephant?
You can't sell it.
It's a bizarre question, I know.
Who would like to rent an elephant? I've got a very good elephant.
You can rent it, technically. So there's not selling, so you could rent out an elephant for parties.
I will try and work out a way to rent the elephant to somebody. I don't know that my backyard is quite big enough to support elephantine pursuits, but
Can't give it away, can't sell it. Yeah, I reckon we'd like to rent an elephant. I mean, I've got one.
A circus, you can find
Yeah,
a circus.
so now you're starting a whole circus because of one elephant. It's just...
How about
free now?
how about Jim's rent an elephant? We could start up a new
That would
division,
be a good one.
all to do with renting elephants, and you could go into giraffes and hippopotamuses and all kinds of things.
One thing that would be really good would be to put a sign on it.
Yeah,
because the elephant walking, if you imagine, people drive bikes and things around with signs on, but if you walked an elephant through the city,
yes,
with
you could use it
signs
as
on
advertising.
That would be, people would look at that, wouldn't they?
Jim's antennas, 131546 on an elephant.
Yeah.
You might get arrested for walking an elephant.
You could use the elephant to get up on the roof to do the antenna.
Yeah. Well, we could also say, look, use Jim's antennas, or we'll have an elephant crush you to death. I mean, you can think of lots of creative uses for an elephant if you really think about it.
Someone took an elephant to the footy once, and remember that? Have you seen that thing?
No, I don't think
they took it to when AFL game, North Melbourne were playing, and they took an elephant into the ground, and it ran around, went crazy.
Is there a market for elephant steak? It doesn't say you can't eat an elephant.
No, you could.
I'm very sure they're a protected species.
Barbecue the elephant.
Barbecue the elephant? I mean, why not? It doesn't say you can't eat the elephant.
No, you could eat.
It could be a bit tough, but then again, marinate it strongly, and you could fry it up. I mean, chops and steaks and all kinds of things. I mean, what would they taste like?
I still have my husband turning it into jerky.
I'm not much of a meat eater myself, but I'm sure I could find people who want to eat an elephant. Also, elephants are very good for making jokes about.
Are they?
Do you know how you can tell, Jake, whether there's an elephant in the fridge?
How?
There's footprints in the butter.
Yeah, come on, Jim.
It's terrible.
Come on, Jim.
We cut Jim's joke. It wasn't polling well.
No, even better than that.
Kids wouldn't like that one.
How do you fit 4 elephants in a mini minor in a very small car?
How?
You put 2 in the front seat, 2 in the back. Okay. Now, how do you fit an elephant in the fridge? I've already asked you. How do you fit 2 elephants in the fridge? How can you find out if there's 2 elephants in the fridge?
Is there more footprints on the butter?
There's 2 sets of footprints in the butter. Okay. How would you know if there was 3 elephants in the fridge?
I'm not sure.
Because there's 3 sets of footprints in it. You're not catching on, Jake.
I'm wondering how long this joke will go on. Yeah.
How can you tell if there's 4 elephants in the fridge?
Is there 4?
No, because there's a mini minor parked outside. So I told you elephants have their uses.
Yeah.
Even they're telling extremely bad jokes. There's a whole lot more too, I could tell. But I think we'd lose all our watchers if I tried this.
If you could uninvent one thing, what would it be?
Uninvent one thing.
Uninvent. It's a good question.
Cocaine?
I didn't expect that answer. Maybe what's something else?
Well, heroin,
I
fentanyl.
will say drugs in general. You went specific there. We'll say drugs in general. Is there an invention maybe that frustrates you or something that you think's... I'm going to say Vegemite. I think Vegemite's very bad. I could get rid of Vegemite. That'd be good.
Well, if you're talking about health, I wish they'd uninvent Nutella.
Nutella? Really? Come on, you don't mean that. You got your fingers crossed under the table with that one.
No, they're all here. They're all here. It's dreadful stuff. I can't resist it. Get hold of a jar of Nutella in the place and I will eat it. Just eat it. It's all gone. No time.
That's true.
And I tell them, why do you buy this stuff? And then they try and hide it. And
you can't resist it, can you?
And they try and hide it from me, but they put it in obvious places like the bread maker, which I can always find it. I mean, I hate Nutella. It's awful. It's the most addictive thing. It's the gym version of crack cocaine. Uninvent Nutella. There's your challenge. Uninvent Nutella.
It's quite ironic you said that because I got back from South America, didn't I, or Colombia? So we'll leave it at that. So this next one is one of my favourite clips, is because when I think it's when I first found out how much admiration, love, and respect Jim had for Montgomery Burns, who was the villain. More affectionately known as Mr. Burns in The Simpsons. I had no idea about this, and I've been with Jim's for nearly 9 years now, and the only way I would have learned about it was via doing Ask Jim, which is why it's great, because every week we learn something new about Jim. But he's got this massive obsession with Mr. Burns, and you'll see here there's Mr. Burns now in his office. There's one down here. He can do a really good, excellent impersonation, all that sort of stuff. So if you are at the training in 2020 and you don't know what to chat to Jim about, chat to him about Mr. Burns and your favourite Montgomery Burns moments, and you'll hit it off like a house on fire. What do you prefer, Star Wars or Star Trek, and why?
Oh, I like Star Wars.
Star Wars?
I love
Star Wars man.
I actually like the sequels really well. I'm a great fan of Emperor Palpatine.
I am the Senate.
I like the
Really?
villains. Oh,
Emperor
yeah.
Palpatine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like him. He's the sinister mastermind behind everything. My kids always think it's funny because when we watch The Simpsons, I love Montgomery Burns.
Smithers, I'm home. What? Already? Yes.
If I'm in my office and there's Simpsons playing and Montgomery Burns, I always come out. Oh, I love. He's my hero. Yeah.
Montgomery Burns.
I love Monty Burns. Yeah.
Really?
Excellent.
Did you hear that? That excellent was excellent.
Really? That's a new one. I've never even heard that. I've been here for 8 years.
I'm a great fan
Who
of
say
villains. That came from my school days when I was Munro Murgatroyd.
Who is this guy? I don't know who this is. Munro
Murgatroyd was the villain in our school, sort of like the school play. And to audition for that, I used to go down into the shed below the house and I practiced my laughing. Right. The neighbours said, "What on earth are you watching on television?" That was great fun.
So there you go. So that's a one-of-a-kind gift, and that was a great moment. So who knows what will happen tonight? So you have to
it's a great part, actually. I tell you what, I love that Munro Murgatroyd. I was scheming to become the school captain, and so my speech was, 3 years in fifth form have I been, before which twice in fifth. Yet my experience is spurned. This manly do-good standeth in my way, and therefore must remove it be.
Did you get voted school captain?
No.
All for nothing.
I got kicked off the stage. Actually, I was the villain. I had to lose.
Right. Kes Hassan via Facebook commented last time and he said, "Would you consider a movie about your life, Jim? Warts and all. Who would you get to play you?"
Well, I'd like somebody who doesn't look anything like me at all. Somebody who's incredibly good looking.
It's like a Bradley Cooper or a George Clooney, or who are you thinking of?
Yeah, I like Daniel Craig, or what's the
Daniel
other?
Craig.
What's the other one who's on the recent James Bond?
It was Daniel Craig was the newest one, wasn't he? Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan. I like Pierce Brosnan. I like him to play me. He doesn't look anything like me, but I reckon he'd be great.
So there you go.
But you got to have a really beautiful actress to play my wife, just to be realistic, because she's gorgeous.
Any in particular that you can think of?
Nobody is as good looking as my wife.
There you go. That's the correct answer. Thank you for watching the first 20 clips. We really do hope you enjoyed them. And if you're watching them on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas to you and your family. On behalf of everyone from Jim's group, we do have you had a really great day and enjoyed everything responsibly. And we hope to see you from next week on New Year's Day, actually, for the next 20 clips in the countdown. But until then, have a great, safe break, and we'll see you in 2020.